Welcome, basketball fans, to a very special Veterans Day edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and our sideline reporter, David Aldridge, Kevin Hart. And let's go straight over to David Aldridge.
Well, guys.
Thanks, GA. And what's scary... is Porzingis is only going to get better. That kind of fearlessness will help him in the long run. And KG, you're retired from the game now, and you're stepping into the broadcast business a little bit now, aren't you?
Man, you see me?
How do you like it?
You know what? Area 21 is something that is authentic. It's me. I'm having a great time watching the games. It's really cool being a fan now. I can root for people I want to root for. I don't have to worry about preparing and who I'm a guard, and I'm getting the tea. So you know what? It's a great time. It's work. You know, it's not just you go in there and you have a bunch of fun. You know, we actually get some things done, and but we have a great time, man.
You're a natural.
Hey, Kev, listen, watching you, being around you, you know, man, the great, rest in peace to Craig, you know, Ernie, Charles, all these great influences, man, has definitely helped. Not just me, but our younger generations of broadcasters, man. It's totally, I didn't see this being my lane, but I'm having fun with it.
Doing a great job. And the starting group for the Spurs. We've got Tatum. Tony Parker is out there with Levine. And there's Porzingis. And it's Unseld in at the power forward position. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
You know, Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. right away I could tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here. To the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting out IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense. Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you're on the waves of something special. Right. And that's how that felt.
Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes, at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that, getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game? I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
The wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Do. Brian Du, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Levine wide open. Here's Porzingis. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. And it's a tie ball game.
Well, Porzingis tireless on that possession there in terms of tracking down the offensive rebound.
Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. Things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
Here's Porzingis. His scoring average of 30 points a game speaks volumes about the damage he's capable of doing whenever he gets the hot hand. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not.
Listen, I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man. What's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you? Seriously.
Broadcast in the NBA, 20 years, and then 12 years with 2K.
You're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best. You understand, my dude?
That's why we've got you. But, Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you? Especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man, 2K is it, bro. Hey, there's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they got to do this. They know.
Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor.
Yes.
You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times. Are coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that
like Doc was kind of in between. One little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. There was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout out to Doc. Doc would rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You needed to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, that's important.
Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against? Down low, we'll stick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. He was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his
no kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards, and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
Well, some foresight from Evans there to sprint out and take advantage of the transition opportunity.
Offensive rebound, Laverne, and he banks in the layup. Laverne's got his first 2 points of the night.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
Here's Crawford. It's hauled in by Ginobili.
Ooh, the D did just enough to keep him from scoring. Thought that was in for sure.
So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. The Spurs shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
And the second free throw, good. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Now here's Crawford. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Just 4 to shoot. Fires from the wing. And there it is for him. Crawford's got it all tied up now for Minnesota.
I like how focused Jamal is out there. Nothing bothering him, rising up to shoot and scoring again.
And that concludes a high-scoring first quarter with both teams tied up. And we'll get things started in the second quarter when we return. And now a chance to hear from point guard Damian Lillard.
I was taught to, never let anybody.
I would say we probably shouldn't expect to see Lillard starring in any reality shows about his personal life.
Lillard is a young man who is all about taking care of business.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Timberwolves?
They're just not sitting back. They are going for steals, and their activity has been terrific.
Yeah, so that disruption is helping out because it's leading to some easy chances on the other end.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the court for San Antonio, Mills and Manu at the guards. Tim Hardaway Jr. out there with Anderson. And it's Laverne in at the 5, roaming the paint. Here's Mills, and they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard, and everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
that
man.
Is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
And Luis Scola gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber and Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Mills dishes to Ginobili. And Laverne kicks to Ginobili. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Hardaway passes to Ginobili. And they're unable to get the tying basket there. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. No, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together. You have to make it work for you. And you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, there's a lot to consider. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Kevin, the Spurs' Greg Popovich talked about developing players. He said, our method is usually tough love. I don't think coddling works, and beating them to death mentally doesn't work either. You give them a clear picture of what's demanded, show care, understand what makes them tick. If that doesn't get through, you get rid of them. Kevin?
And the military background of Popovich plays a part in this way of thinking, David. It's why the Spurs have been so successful for so many years. Back to Parker. Pass to Unseld. 6 to shoot. Here's Tatum. San Antonio needs to get off a shot here. Sinks it. And the shot from Porzingis.
Porzingis playing with some heart now, never giving up or into the defense, muscling through that difficult shot.
Minnesota comes into this one following a loss to the Golden State Warriors. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Kobe for a year, or got to team at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance to. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
Yeah, it was.
Going to the Lakers?
Well, my connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. And it's what it was. But
Kobe, you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything.
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray. My connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Kobe. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even gonna front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual, my boys, and we sit back and watch the game and loving the game.
Yeah. Screen by Porzingis. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity.
And what strength there by Parker. Be able to take the hit and still drain the shot in the process. He is just a remarkable athlete with tremendous finishing ability.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. Lillard outside. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
This is why I love his game. You really have to admire his tenacity.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
Porzingis sets the pick for Parker. Porzingis can't hit. Timberwolves leading by 8. Lillard with it. He's picked up by Parker. Weber a screen. Lillard dishes to Weber. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. It goes on Jason Tatum. The Timberwolves shooting their fourth shot at the foul line here. Spurs trail by 10. Pass to Unseld.
Oh, man. How about that floor awareness there from Tatum? It does a good job of scanning the court and getting the ball to the open man.
That Unleash Chaos Under Armour replay really giving us a good look at the action. And Lillard kicks to Weber. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
Oh, phenomenal alley-oop slam there.
They are taking advantage of a team that looks lost out there. It's rebounded by Unseld.
The defense was solid there, smothering him close inside, and that's how you want to guard him.
KG, I know you can't stay any longer. You've got to move on, but we appreciate your time, and it's always great to see you.
Kev, anytime, man. It's great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you let me know, man. I'm yours.
Former MVP, Defensive Player of the Year and champion, Kevin Garnett. And, Brent, it's amazing that our introduction to KG was just this high school kid from Chicago, and before that, from South Carolina. So unrefined, undefined, and now, he has just so much wisdom to impart. He's learned so much. It's wonderful to listen to.
Well, you think about Kevin Garnett, Kevin, and the fact that he played more than half of his life in the NBA. And for a guy like that to pick up some sort of knowledge, to carry it on and to pay it forward, that's the kind of loyalty and enthusiasm that Kevin Garnett always shows for the game of basketball.
And stolen by Lillard. And now Minnesota on the fast break. Fires for 3. 36 seconds left in the first half. And the wide open shot from Miles. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Lillard.
So much talk about the game slowing down for the game's best players. Lillard composes himself, scans the court, and delivers the strike.
The pass to Unseld. Shoots over Weber. And it's off the back rim. No good. Timberwolves leading by 16. Lillard with it. He's got 12. He dishes it to Weber. From deep, Miles. What a play. He simply drains it in at. Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal. Damian Lillard has been having a big night. He had 12 points, 3 assists, and 1 steal. And, Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
That was the half of the super sub for them.
And that's all we can do for now.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. We're seeing a tremendous game from Damian Lillard.
And let's see what the defense counters with to try and control him here in the second half.
Well, he has been dominant as we expected coming into this one. Skilled and relentless.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. Brent, coming down the stretch of a tight game, some coaches like to substitute for offense and defense. Others don't. What would be your preference if you were coaching?
I think the idea has to totally do with matchups, Kevin. You're looking out on the floor. If all of a sudden the guy you want with the ball has a mismatch or an advantage, I'm going to stay away from any sort of timeout to give a coach 60 seconds to talk about something that he could probably shut down. I might not be able to be as creative as what's just happened in the flow of the game, and I'll trust my player to make the right play for me at that time.
C.J. Miles is out there with Weber. Then there's Alec Burks. Then it's Damian Lillard. And it's Ewing in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. So that's the Timberwolves 5.
Ooh, and I hope he didn't hurt his neck because that was one nasty head fake.
Yeah, the defender bought it all the way, didn't he? Lillard, the pass to Burks. From deep. That shot off the mark. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. This game coming after a loss against the Bucks.
And in part because I just thought they came out flat in that game and could never recover. Just not their best effort.
You could see the coach trying a few different rotations in that game, shaking things up, trying to get something going, but nothing was working.
And they pick up 2.
This is the kind of guy that you wake up in a cold sweat the night before you play him. Just a matchup nightmare. Tricky, confident, and he takes on all comers.
Lillard attacking outside for Miles. Rebound San Antonio.
And they just cannot seem to get it going so far in this half, missing their first 3 shots.
Fires the 3. Weber pulls it in.
And that's a rare sight. Usually shooters make the defense pay when they're that lackadaisical.
Stolen by Levine. Here's Porzingis. Whistle on the play. Bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And watching Porzingis play, you know, you forget how tall he really is in terms of how he moves. You know, not only how quick he is, but also that skill set. Incredible that a player his size won the skills competition in last year's All-Star festivities.
Timberwolves leading by 12. Lillard outside. And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. Ewing against Porzingis. Shoots from the right block. And Ewing with the nice inside bucket. Ewing's got 8 points. And that is what fools a lot of NBA fans about Porzingis. Most of the highlights, Greg, you see are his blocks and putback dunks. But if you watch his game, you see that skill level.
It's rare to see a player who's the complete package like Porzingis. I mean, he's fluid. He's got the easy-looking shot. It almost looks like he's a guard shooting the basketball, comfortable creating for himself or playing off others.
Burks for 3. Traps in the tray. He has 5.
Good decision to kick the ball out as the defense collapsed.
Here's Parker. He's got 6. Porzingis kicks to Parker, and he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Lillard outside. And the call will be against Tony Parker. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Brent, it is an era of shorter player contracts, sometimes with opt-outs after 1 or 2 years. Does that breed too much of a win-now mentality among teams?
Oh, so shorter contracts, Kevin, but taller players?
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Okay, all right. You know, it's interesting the way that teams want to set themselves up. Obviously, if you have a bona fide star, you want to do what you can to lock him up and have him as part of your organization and the concrete and the foundation for what you do moving forward. But a lot of guys certainly on the move and on loan for seasons where they want to take a shot at the true contenders.
Levine, good.
Man, this guy is a scoring machine. I mean, I know I'm not the only one to describe him that way.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, the Spurs have never been the flashy team in the NBA. Tony Parker said beautiful basketball is playing the right way. Ball movement, pure, beautiful basketball is the way we've played. You have all sorts of fans, and there should be something for everybody. Kevin, he told me a long time ago, if we were in New York, people would love us.
And during Popovich's time in San Antonio, the Spurs have always played together, D.A. Got to respect their team-first approach to the game. Now let's take a look at how the shots have been divided up between three-point shots and two-point shots for the Timberwolves.
And boy, they've been producing points both inside and out. That kind of symmetry offensively is a great sign, and it's correlated with their early success.
Lillard dishes to Ewing. Doesn't go that time. Nice D from Porzingis.
Really surprising to see the huge edge they have in rebounds given what the scoreboard says.
Unzeld, the pass to Porzingis. Stolen by Weber. Now Burks. 5 points in the game. And here's Weber. There's the feed to Burks. And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for Damian Lillard. 8th in scoring, 8th in free throw percentage, and his playmaking ability, unquestioned, one of the top 15 assist men in our league.
And you noted it, his points per game average is unreal right now. He's literally propping up the team's offense, scoring whenever they need him to. Here's Evans, banked in off the glass. And the Timberwolves lead by 13. And Greg Popovich has led the Spurs to the playoffs in all 20 of the full seasons he's coached the team. But you know what, Brent? He always gives his players the credit.
Well, Pop knows that the players are the ones who deserve all of the accolades, but there's no doubt that there's an appreciation for the way that Pop continues to put his team and each member of the team into situations where they collectively can compete every year. And it's not about just competing for the playoffs, Kevin. I'm talking about competing for titles. What a run that Greg Popovich has been on.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
In a wise move to call timeout there. They need to settle down a bit. They've been playing out of control at times here, and it shows with their turnover numbers.
A different look now for San Antonio. Anderson comes in for Kyle Anderson, and it's DeJounte Murray in for Patty Mills. Ginobili can't hit. Minnesota leading by 13. And Miles kicks to Burks. Now the dish to Ewing. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And the Timberwolves, a team that is evolving how you imagine they would with Tibbs running things here. Deliberate approach on both ends of the floor and really looking to dominate the rebounding margins.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Luis Scola, he's checked in for Weber. McDermott comes in for C.J. Miles. And it's Crawford in for Burks. Back to Murray from the arc. They get the rebound. Dishes to Tatum from outside the arc. And Laverne kicks to Tatum. Kicks it out to Ginobili. Back to Anderson. And another shot. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. That's on Patrick Ewing. The Spurs have made 6 of their 7 attempts at the line in this one. Minnesota making a switch here. Withy's checked in. And both free throws good for Anderson. Greg, in the areas you just talked about, rebounding and pace, the Timberwolves are very much where they want to be.
Yeah, the team just looks to make the most out of their possessions and try to beat you through efficiency. They have players that can get easy transition points when the opportunity presents itself, but in general, they aren't trying to speed the game up.
And here we go. Fast break. Crawford's got it. Feeds to McDermott. Kicks to Evans.
Crawford!
The rebound by the Spurs. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. That game is the first and last of their homestand. Tatum dishes to Laverne. Pass to Murray. In the corner, it's Ginobili. Murray with it. Evans is there. And there's Murray on the assist by Ginobili. Timberwolves leading by 10. Evans outside. It's Crawford with the drive. McDermott for three. The kick out to Scola. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Evans up top. He's covered by Murray. Passes it to Crawford. He kicks it to Withy. Stolen by Anderson. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Murray. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Clearly a foul.
It's his first trip to the line. The first free throw is good.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Minnesota calls timeout. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Anunoby, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Now here's Crawford. He's got 8. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Scola. No good on the buzzer beater. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Minnesota on top, up 8. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center. And now a sneak peek into the huddle with Greg Popovich.
Stay aggressive.
Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play getting started. So it's the Spurs now, trailing here by 8. On the court right now for the Spurs. Murray out there with Ginobili. Then it's Tatum. Then there's Chris Anderson. And it's Laverne in at the 5 spot. He feeds it to Ginobili. Pass to Murray. Shot clock at 6 from downtown. Minnesota with the rebound. Earlier in the game, they had a 19-point lead. Anunoby, good.
Look, shooters know where other shooters are, and if you're not shooting, make the pass, and Doug did it there.
Spurs trail by 10. Murray with it. Tatum kicks to Murray. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. They get Luis Scola. He misses the free throw. And he can't get the second one to drop either. Coming up empty that time.
And the San Antonio Spurs, the #1 ranked defense in the league the last 2 seasons running. Top 5 defensively for the last half decade. When you play the black and silver, you may end up black and blue.
Murray kicks to Anderson. And now the Timberwolves on the break. That one drops for him. And now it's a 12-point Minnesota lead.
And at full speed, he still has the wherewithal to get himself in good position.
Yeah, the snap decisions right there, reading the situation on the move and then making the right choice.
Ginobili outside. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here. Gentlemen. We often talk about how players have evolved over the years, but Brent, what about strategies on both sides of the ball? Where has that evolved?
I think the last 5 or 6 years, what we're seeing is definitely on the offensive end, more of a European style of basketball where we have passing, off the ball cutting, multiple times where the big comes out of the hole, which is the post-up area, Kevin, to the top of the key to be a conduit from both sides of the floor. That draws the whole line of defense up and creates opportunities behind the play. If we go to the defensive end, Kev, that's all about switching. Versatility on the defensive end comes from switching, swarming defenses, and that's where teams are trending to go.
Timberwolves leading by 12. McDermott, no one around him, and Tatum pulls it down.
You got to be a little bit questioning of the defense because I'm sure they feel foolish for giving that guy that look, but they survived it.
Cans it from downtown. Ginobili's got 5 points now in the quarter.
We all know what he can do from out there. At this stage, it might be better to body up Ginobili and force him to work harder and put it on the floor.
And DeJounte Murray gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. Crawford. Another miss by Minnesota.
And truth is, though he misses that one, it's a shot he normally makes.
Yeah, he has that kind of range, but maybe not that time the best judgment.
And play stops as it looks like they call an over the back here.
And that's just all about positioning. He gets boxed out, can't fight around it, and gets the over the back call.
Guys get excited about making something happen, but that was just a loss of composure right there. You can't go through the guy.
Outside Scola. Minnesota gets it back with a new shot clock. McDermott kicks to Scola. Here's Crawford. Second chance shot. The pass to Withy. Puts up a 3. The rebound by the Spurs. Porzingis has got his 8th rebound here tonight. Here's Hardaway. Unzeld. The pass to Levine. Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We've got about 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Damian Lillard. That's his first foul.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Alec Burks. On the wing, Hardaway. Defended by Miles. Parker kicks to Levine. San Antonio again missing. Timberwolves leading by 9. Crawford dishes to Lillard. Outside for Miles. Lillard right side. Here's Ewing, and Patrick Ewing with the slam.
Well, more and more he's defining himself as the leader, and Lillard's assist totals help him along.
Parker kicks to Hardaway. Screen by Porzingis. Hardaway passes to Porzingis. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. There's the foul. That's against Minnesota. Whenever you get a chance to see Porzingis play, Brent, you get a sense of excitement.
He's definitely one of the players in the league that I like to watch, and mostly because I'm interested in the progression of Kristaps Porzingis. When he first came in, it was all about those follow-up highlight dunks on the offensive end where he was throwing things down as putbacks. And now it's about refining his game and becoming more consistent night in and night out.
On the wing, Levine. Screen by Porzingis. The 3. Out that one in, and the Timberwolves lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Levine.
And that's why it's so important to really be a good screening team. You get a lot of open looks from it.
Lillard against Parker. Here's Weber. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
How about the Spurs clinching Their 20th straight playoff appearance last season. An amazing run, more than twice as long as the next active streak. And the longest streak in the league was the Sixers from 1950 to 1971. I think the Spurs are going to get past them.
Pass to Unseld. Back to Parker. Takes a three. Here's Porzingis. Out to Parker. And it's Parker again missing.
This just doesn't seem to be his night, or his team's for that matter either. And they got to pull it together here quick, or it's going to be lights out.
Out left to the wing. Three-pointer, Lillard. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. And Greg Popovich tied for the longest streak of consecutive playoff appearances by a head coach.
Well, how about 18 straight 50-win seasons for Pop? Just a remarkable run of tremendous success, where you could look at maybe 5 or 6 other opportunities where the San Antonio Spurs could have won another NBA title. You realize young DeJounte Murray was still in diapers the last time that they won less.
Here's Weber. Great D that time from Hardaway. Spurs trail by 10. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. The jump hook stolen by Ewing. Lillard against Hardaway. Ewing kicks to Miles. There's Crawford with the three. Rebound San Antonio. Unseld's got 7 rebounds in the game. Out to the right wing. It's Parker outside. They get it back. Porzingis. That's the 6th make from the field. He's taken 9 shots and missed but 3.
Well, everything Porzingis touches turning to Zelts. That's Latvian for gold, Kevin.
And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up. So the first one drops, and that will put them up by 9. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
And he's great getting to the free throw line, but Lillard also typically does something with the opportunity. High percentage shooter.
And then Hardaway with the dunk.
Straight power, homie. I mean, he ripped it down with both hands.
Absolutely a resounding dunk. Lillard dishes to Weber. Deflects the pass. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Levine.
Playing with lots of energy here, trying to cause turnovers.
Yeah, even though he doesn't come up with the steal, that kind of deflection will disrupt the rhythm of this offensive possession.
Mills, he's checked in for Tony Parker.
And now as the clock ticks down, this is going to end up as a solid victory here for Minnesota.
And one area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
I think it sparked their offense. It deflates the opposition. And when you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's pretty hard to overcome that defensive pressure down the stretch.
And with this effort tonight, grabbing their 8th win of the year.
And with this win now, we're all square, 1-1. 2 more games yet to come in what's proving to be a very competitive season series.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Oh, dynamic 2-hand jam.
And right in the face of the defender. Now here's Lillard, covered by Mills. Lillard attacking, outside to Weber. Another miss by Minnesota. Here's Mills. Hardaway for 3. And so the Timberwolves take the win. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans, but in the end, everyone's satisfied.
I mean, there were some times that momentum shifted, and especially early on, but let's give this...
David, thank you as always. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Brent Berry, Greg Anthony, and David